Live.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Ah, crap!
This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, This Week in Pickles, and Facebook is taking down the latest coronavirus video due to demon sperm, and goodbye Halloween Horror Nights, and magic beans from China are now here, but now, what do we do with them? All this and much, much more will be discussed here on Deacon Live. How are you? How are things? How are things going? Oh, man, I know, again, another day late, dollar short again, but yesterday we were all set up, ready to go here in the studio. And this huge storm came rolling through, like one of those sleeper cell storm. I don't want to say sleeper cells. Just one of those rogue storms that came rolling through here, and bing, bang, boom, lightning flashes, thunder, lightning. Oh, man, it was frightening. And the power blew. The power went out. Now, all our power lines are underground here on the French. And you asked, what's a French, Deacon? What's a French? Well, we're part farm and part ranch. We have horses, we have cattle and chickens and stuff, and we also grow produce, corns. We have crops of corn and black-eyed peas this year. Very good. Anyway, so power went out, and I'm like, going, this is bullshit, man. You know, I grew up, born and raised downtown Orlando, Florida, and these storms would come through. It's a summer storm compared to, I mean, that's what we had in Florida all the time. Big rainstorm would come through, nothing, you wouldn't lose power. It might flicker once or twice, and then it would go away. And then, but this, here in North Carolina, backwoods, we're out here in the middle of nowhere, and the power goes off, and it's like, you know, the old joke, you know, a gnat farts and the power goes off. So there you go, that's what happened here. So how are you guys doing? Everything going all right? You doing okay? Are you surviving? You know, the media, the social network, the news feed is getting a little bit slower. It's getting a little bit more not so, you know, you get anxiety to to watch the news or watch your news feed or anywhere where you get your topics and stuff. And that's what the Deacon Live tries to help and tries to hold you and cuddle you and say, you know, it's going to be okay. We're all in this together. I'm just a normal guy, just like you guys, all my listeners, all our friends, everyone from California, Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, all those guys out there, all the way up to Canada, and our good friends overseas as well. So we're all good. I know the news feed is kind of scary, you know, with Corona and all that stuff. Now, we here at the French, we had a scary incident that, I mean, you don't know what happens unless it affects you directly. Like, for example, you know, a bomb explodes somewhere and you're like going, oh my God. And you're like, where? And they're like going, Afghanistan. You're like, fuck Afghanistan. You know, it happens all the time. But when you hear something explodes, where at? Downtown Charlotte. And you're like, oh shit. You know, that's close. That's, well, here at the French, we're close to just outside of downtown Charlotte in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. But, I mean, the closer it is to you, the more it affects you, the more you're like, well, I need to pay attention to all this stuff. Now, one thing that's out there right now is the coronavirus. Everyone's panicking about the coronavirus on a large scale. Now, I know on my Facebook feed, a couple people are saying, you know, day 12 of me being, you know, quarantined, day 14 of me, but I don't want to say I don't know you people. I do know you people. I follow your news feeds. I follow all that stuff all the time. But you're not in my home state. You're not in my neighborhood. You're not in my house. You're not near me. I don't have to worry about it, which is good. Get away from me. So as you know, like I said, we have a French here. One of the things that we have are chickens, and we sell eggs. We have a big sign out on the road here. Now, we do have a contract with a couple local restaurants around here that buy our eggs, and that's kind of dwindling because they really don't have the foot traffic coming through the doors, and so they're not buying as many, you know, flats of eggs from us. So we always have a sign out front saying, you know, farm fresh eggs, $3 a dozen. And people would come up regular, you know, usually on Friday. There's a nursery right around the corner from us. So when they let out and they all, Mina, they all come over here and they buy, you know, 15 to 16 dozen eggs, not flats, but dozen eggs. from us. And then we have our religious people that come over, not religious people, people who come over religiously. Got to flip those words around. They mean two different things. They come over all the time and buy eggs from us. And through the years, we've been here at the French about 7 years now. And through the years, we've gotten to know the people. We've, talked to them. We sit and chat for a little bit. How are things going? But not as much as we used to because of the whole coronavirus now. People, we keep our distance and just to be safe. Now, some of the people that we've met, we've actually became good friends with them. And, we'll go over to their place and drink beers and have a bonfire and stuff. And they'll come over to our place. It's kind of trade-off stuff because you can't go to restaurants or do what you used to do. So I get a text. Some people have my phone number, and I text them, and hey, you got any eggs available? Because sometimes we do sell out. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Come on over. Yeah, we're right around the corner. We'll be there in a few minutes. Text messages. This is the text messages going by. And then I go, okay, so my wife and I, it's a beautiful Thursday afternoon. We're sitting on the front porch. The sun sets just kind of like if you're facing straight out the front porch, the sun sets usually like, 12 o'clock's in front of you, like 10 o'clock. So we just kind of turn our chairs and watch the sunset behind the trees. Beautiful sunset every night. Beautiful landscape. It's beautiful. Everything's beautiful. So I said, hey, such and such coming over to grab some eggs. Okay, we got some. All right, cool. So we're sitting there and we're having a nice evening cocktail on the front porch, and we've got these old wooden rocking chairs where they've made them out of like logs. You've seen them, right? Where they take like a log and they put them in a lathe and they spin them down and make the spindles and make the arms and the legs and the rockers and stuff. So they look like they're not the Adirondack chairs. They're made of like wood, like chunks of wood, like trees. Is that where wood comes from, Deacon? Yeah, that's where it comes from. So we're sitting there, and then a few minutes later, he calls me on the phone. Literally like seconds after I said, yeah, come on over. So he calls me. He's like, hey, man, how you doing? You doing okay? And I'm like, yeah, man, you doing all right? He's like, yeah, we'll be there in a few minutes. We're leaving the house over here, and we'll swing by there. We got to go down to Charlotte or whatever they got to do. Hey, man, I just want to let you know. I'm like, okay, here we go. What's going on, man? Hey, I just want to let you know, my daughter works in Williams-Harrisburg somewhere. I don't know where she's at. Anyways, my daughter works at this place, and she's getting married, and give me the whole story. I'm like, okay, cool, sounds great, congratulations, blah blah blah. Yeah, and she has been tested positive for coronavirus. I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah, and we had a big get together and a big family dinner meeting because she's getting married. So they're having like, not a dress rehearsal party, but, a family dinner. And he's like, there's, 15 to 20 of us there. And she was there and we're all hugging and kissing and, praising the celebration that is marriage. And I just want to let you know, she just tested positive the other day. And I'm like, oh, really? My wife, how... What is he saying? And doing the whole like the hand to the throat, like no, he can't come over. And I'm like, well, to get to our property, it's a big long driveway. I said, that's cool, man. I said, what I'll do is I'll leave the eggs down there at the produce stand that we have out there, and you can throw, we got a little kitty pot up there, and they slip their money in it, but we can see them from the house. So he pulls up, and I'm like, hey, stay down there. And then he's like, you doing okay? Yeah, I'm doing great. You doing all right? Yeah, we're doing great. Hey, man, sorry this had to happen. I don't want to risk your family or anything like that. And I'm like, hey, man, that's cool. Appreciate it. Thanks for telling us. You might be positive. You might not. Hey, keep me up to date. Throw the money in there, and we'll catch up later. Yeah, all right, man, cool. Vroom, and he drives off. So then you go, well, shit. When's the last time did I see him? Well, I haven't seen him in a couple weeks, like physically hung out, seen him, like a couple weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks. What did he say his dinner or his daughter's dinner party was? Last week? Okay. So she might have had it a week prior to that. So, and then you sit there and you're counting. It's like finding out, I hate to say this, it's like finding out one of your sexual partners has an STD. And then you're kind of going, oh my God, did I... Before, after, did that, 3 degrees of separation, you have to make that phone call. Hey, yeah, I got the HERP. I've got the HERP. You might want to go get tested type thing. But they came up, and I'm like going, oh, my God. And then I'm thinking to myself, the money that they put in the little kitty thing down there. Well, I can't just run down there and grab all the money out of it. I'll run the risk of someone driving by and grabbing the kitty jar out there. Because it's got to, how long does it stay on paper? How long does it stay on money? What's the money that I have? Is the reason why we have a change shortage because it's being transferred between pennies and nickels and dimes and dollar bills and 20s and Benjamins? And you just sit there and you reevaluate your situation. Here we are on a ranch, 20-some odd acres. It's just me and my wife here, all the horses, all the cattle, all the chickens, all the corn and black-eyed peas and tomatoes and stuff. And we're kind of isolated here. And this one person, I hate to use the word, pierces the bubble, pierces our little world here. And you just kind of go, oh, shit, like that, it could happen, that you could transfer that over. So, I mean, just kind of eye-opening, just kind of like, woo. It hit a little close to home there, So anyways, all right. Did I scare you enough? I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. Well, stick around because a lot of people are scared because of this video that Facebook has taken down. Now, I watched the video. I watched all the stuff that they said, and you know what video I'm talking about. It's got all the people in the lab coats and stuff. And I found a video that actually dissects exactly what happened. And I want you guys to hear it. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Give us a call anytime at the station at 407-448-8800. Text us live at any time in the Queen City studio located just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. Beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks. And the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio, and click on the social contacts, and you can follow us and see where our platforms are, where the podcasts are being distributed and downloaded, and you can find all the Facebooks and the Instagram and all that. So I try so hard to do the Instagram thing. For a while, I've got show notes here in front of me, and it's I do all my scribbling, all my notes and stuff. I'm like, I don't know if anyone really wants to see my notes for the podcast, but I was taking pictures of it and putting it on the Instagram, and sure enough, oh my God, that's so cool. Now I can literally go through my notes as the show's going on. It's like what do they call not for dummies, the cliff notes for the show, and you can follow right along, and you can see all my little pencil scribbles and stuff. So that's social contact. So now we were talking about the coronavirus came to our front door. Now we have another. I got my fingers in everything here. I started an episode, or started a special shows type thing. It's called Is This Going Somewhere? And it's my IT Dan. I have an IT person who takes care of and runs and updates and fixes all the stuff here at the station. And if I got problems or if I need programs to migrate to each other, he's a good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time, at least 10 years, and his name is Dan. So I call him IT Dan. That's his title and that's his name. And so I always call and check on him and see how he's doing. He was a Home Depot employee for a very long time. As you guys know, I spent 20 years at Home Depot before leaving them. What was that? 2014 I left them? Somewhere around there. But, and I call him and we have conversations, and he's a very smart man. And so I started recording the conversations between me and him. And so there's a season, call it season 1. It's going to be 7 episodes. And it is conversations that I've had with IT Dan. Now, the latest one that I had, he wasn't feeling well. He wasn't doing well. And you've heard that he's, he digs French drains, and he's doing all the stuff because he's not working. So he's doing work around the house. He said he got overheated the other day. So there's a new episode up there. And the way you see that is go to prophetradio.com and click on the season 1 of Is This Going Somewhere with Dan. It's real conversation. None of it's scripted. It's just, one of those things where it's interesting when you hear two people, intelligent people, talk, I guess. I don't know. That's throwing it out there for you. So this new video that's out there, a lot of you have seen it, and a lot of people are freaking out, is the social media platform removes the video of the doctors promoting false false COVID-19 cure. And you guys have seen the video and everyone's, oh, look at Facebook took it down because of fake news, and people took it down because of this, and people took it down because of that. Well, there's a reason why they took it down. Now, I'm not pro, I'm not, against. Hold on, this guy's going to start talking here in a minute. So I'm not for it, I'm not against it. If there's something wrong with what someone's saying, call them out on it. Hey, you said the sky was green, not blue. Well, according to my eyesight, the sky is green. No, it's blue. Call them out on it. Say, hey, explain why the sky is green and not blue. So you've seen the video, and it's group of like 5 different people in lab coats, and then this one woman from overseas, from in Africa somewhere. And I say Africa, not that she's black. She's a very smart woman. She came over to the United States and got her doctorate degree and all that stuff. And she has been dealing with people with COVID-19. So here, I'm going to start playing this video. Now, you can watch all these videos, all the articles and stuff I talk about here on Deacon Live by going to the Deacon Live section of Prophet Radio. And every podcast that you see has a video, a live studio video. Hi, I'm waving to you in here in the studio. I got like 15 cameras around me, and you can see this in real time as I'm talking about it. So here you go. This is a video about why Facebook pulled down the COVID-19 video. Okay, hold on. I gotta refix this.
And the first thing we're going to talk about today is the chaos and general ridiculousness that we're seeing around this viral video involving doctors and hydroxychloroquine that trended on Facebook and Twitter yesterday. Right, so in that video, we see a group of what appear to be physicians standing outside of the Supreme Court steps in Washington, D.C. Reportedly, they refer to themselves as America's frontline doctors. They were part of a conference that started yesterday, goes through today. It's also believed by some that this group was kind of formed specifically for this for a number of reasons, including their website actually appears to have only existed for about 12 days now. In fact, as of this morning, to make it even more confusing, if you try to go to their website, it now says that it's expired. And we'll jump a little bit more into the group, who's a part of it, stuff like that in a second. In this video that's circulated, we see a doctor making a number of claims that seem very contrary to what we've heard from a just large majority of other doctors. For example, we see the likes of Dr. Stella Emanuel saying things like,
and we treat them and they live. None has died. So if some fake science, some person sponsored by all these fake pharma companies comes and say, oh, we've done studies and they found out that it doesn't work, I can tell you categorically it's fake science. I want to know who is sponsoring that study. I want to know who is behind it. Because there is no way I can treat 350 patients and counting and nobody is dead and they all did better. And then you're going to tell me that you treated 20 people, 40 people and it didn't work. I'm a true testimony. So I came here to Washington, D.C. to tell America, nobody needs to get sick. This virus has a cure. It is called hydroxychloroquine, zinc, and Zithromax.
Okay, so there are a few things that we're going to try and break down here, and then we are going to talk about Dr. Stella Emanuel herself. So, hydroxychloroquine. It is a drug that we've talked about a number of times on this show. It is a drug that President Trump has repeatedly touted, despite there being major concerns around it. One of the first things to know about it is that hydroxychloroquine is approved by the Food and Drug Administration, but mainly only for use in malaria patients, as well as patients with lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. However,
now the prescription to this pill is also $20. It's only $20. So I think what's happening is they're saying, well, it might work, it might not work. They can't figure out a way to make a whole lot of money on it because it's already been approved. It's already been in the system. It's already in, and they said, oh, well, we can't make any money on this. Make it $20 for 100 pills, and then we'll move on to something else. And now they're finding out that this, I forget what the name of it is relevant now to the COVID-19.
You also had several small studies early on in the pandemic indicating that maybe hydroxychloroquine could be used to effectively treat COVID patients.
That's
we had Trump beginning to tout
for.
this drug as a game changer. Then in late March, we saw the FDA even give emergency approval to the Trump administration to distribute millions of hydroxychloroquine pills to hospitals. This in an attempt to treat and help COVID patients, right? You had the FDA also saying that the benefit for trying this still unproven drug outweighed the risks. But on the note of risks, we should talk about in April, we saw the FDA then issuing a warning for hydroxychloroquine, saying that it should only be used in hospital settings or clinical trials. This because studies have shown it to cause heart arrhythmias. In fact, in one study looking at veteran affairs, we saw in medical journal, the Annals of Internal Medicine report.
Open schools? No.
Majority. For example, she also said,
I know people want to talk about mask. Hello? You don't need mask. There is a cure. I know they don't want to open schools. No, you don't need people to be locked down. There is prevention and there is a cure.
Right, so she says you don't need masks even though the current CDC guidance states, quote, Cloth face coverings may help prevent people who have COVID-19 from spreading the virus to others. Wearing a cloth face covering will help protect people around you, including those at higher risk of severe illness from COVID-19 and workers who frequently come into close contact with other people. Right, and finally, you have this doctor, once again, talking about a cure, suggesting that hydroxychloroquine is the cure. But to be clear, hydroxychloroquine is not currently considered to be a cure or, like we even said, even effective by the broader medical community. Now, with all that said, something that is important when you're getting new information is to look at who the messenger is. This is important when you hear any information, but most importantly, when you hear information you want to hear. So like I said, that is Dr. Stella Emanuel. She is a general practitioner from Houston. Reportedly, she received her medical degree in Nigeria. In addition to being a doctor, she is a religious minister who reportedly operates a medical clinic out of a strip mall next to her church. And
did you get that? Which is great. You know, she's trying to help back or give back to the community and stuff and help her local residents and stuff. But pay attention, perk those ears up a little bit as far as all the other stuff that she has said.
Looking at this person's track record, there are some interesting claims they have made. Things like Dr. Stella Emanuel claiming that gynecological problems like cysts and endometriosis are caused by people having sex in their dreams with demons and witches. Also in one of her sermons claiming...
Did you get that? Yeah, sex with demons and witches in their dreams causes, vaginal cysts.
That scientists had plans to install microchips into people and develop a vaccine to make it impossible to become religious. Also saying there are people that are ruling this nation that are not even human. Then describing a conversation she had with a reptilian spirit that she said was half human, half ET. Also, Emanuel most recently tweeting out a video where she demanded that CNN anchor Chris Cuomo and Anthony Fauci give her jars of their urine. This so she can test if they're secretly taking hydroxychloroquine even as they caution against its use. Also
you know, what if she's right? What if we are being run by reptilian people? I'm just saying, throwing it out there. I mean, Christ, look at all the stuff that we've been through right now with murder hornets and the COVID-19 and people are, it's a weird, wacky world out there. And so who's to say this woman is not completely insane or sane? You know, there's an old comedian out there who said, you ever seen people walking down the street like homeless people just yelling at the ground and stuff? And what if they're carrying on conversations with someone halfway around the world? So he's out there going, I can. And then over in some other country, some lady's going, you need to get up and get a job. You need to do this and do that. Two conversations on other sides of the world, but that somehow they're linked together. And I'm the crazy one, right?
Tweeting out the very normal statement from a doctor. I double dog dare y'all to give me a urine sample. So, I guess the main thing I'm trying to get by talking about all of that is just because you see someone in a white coat, maybe you don't automatically trust their medical advice. No offense to Johnny Sins intended. Now, part of the reason we're even having to cover this story today is just how far-reaching this video has become. I mean, just on Facebook alone, reportedly the original video racked up more than 13 million views yesterday, with Facebook then actually stepping in and trying to remove the video of Emanuel from the site. This because they said it shared false information about cures and treatments for COVID-19. Also, after that, we saw a Facebook spokesperson reiterating the platform's COVID misinformation policy, saying, we're showing messages in newsfeed to people who have reacted to, commented on, or shared harmful COVID-19 related misinformation that we have removed, connecting them to myths debunked by the World Health Organization. From there, we also saw YouTube working to delete the video from the site. This morning, we also saw Twitter taking down the video, but not before President Trump had already retweeted it on his personal account. That tweet also calling Emanuel a fearless warrior of truth. But if you look at that tweet now, it shows that clip of her is unavailable. On Trump's account, it and another tweet have also been removed altogether. And actually, we also saw on Donald Trump Jr.'s Twitter account that he uploaded the video, right? So he wasn't linking it from someone else. So because of that, we saw Twitter restrict his ability to tweet for 12 hours. So there was that. And as far as Emanuel's response to all of this, hello, Facebook, put back my profile page and videos up or your computers will start crashing till you do. You are not bigger than God. I promise you. My page is not back up. Facebook will be down in Jesus' name. And that is ultimately the story as it is now. I'm a little bit at a loss for words. I've seen some people trying to defend the doctor, saying that she's being persecuted for her religious beliefs, but what? Are you saying that her claims that the government is run in part by reptilians and other aliens, that scientists want to install microchips in people and develop a vaccine to make it impossible for people to become religious, that sex with demons, it causes gynecological problems? That's attacking her because of her religion? I was raised Catholic. Maybe I missed that part in the Bible. I don't know what to say with this story other than don't be stupid. Stupid?
So there you go. I mean, that's why they removed the thing. They were attacking her. Now, whether it's true or not the demon spawn penis stuff, but I mean, what she's saying, who knows? I mean, she seems like an intelligent woman. They don't give doctor's degrees to just anyone, or do they? I don't know. I mean, she went to school in Nigeria and then came over to Houston, Texas, here in the old grand U.S. of A. And now she's being touted as a fake, a fraud. What she was saying is not real. So I mean, that's whether it's real or not. That's the reason why they took down the video, and that's why I wanted to explain that to you. But not that because she's her background's a little weird. So there you go. Speaking of a little weird, when we come back. Did you get a package in the mail yet? Well, I got mine, and I'm going to open it right here when we come back. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Give us a call anytime at 407-448-8800. We are live from the Queen City studio, located just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. Follow us on all our social networks, and the way you do that is to go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on the social contacts, and you can follow us from there. Now, you guys want to earn, I mean, this social distancing and stuff and the COVID-19, hey, if it's still around in spring of 2021, how would you like to make, give up 5 to 8 months of your life and earn $20,000 and drink some beer while you're at it? Sound good? Well, guess what? Oh, you have to love the outdoors, though, because you'll be kind of social distancing yourself from everyone else. A brewery in Virginia is seeking a chief hiking officer. Qualifications must be, you must love hiking, you must love beer, and you must have 5 to 8 months to spend to traverse the country on foot. The virtual job posting from Devil's Backbone Brewery Company seeks a CHO to hike the Appalachian Trail spring of 2021, a 2,000-mile trail that covers 14 states from Georgia to Maine. The likely applicant must have 5 to 8 months to complete it. Luckily, there will be tons of free beer along the way provided by the brewery. I don't know how they're going to do that. What are they going to Hey, when this guy comes in the store, Sugar McDirty feet, when he comes in here, give him this 6-pack of beer, and they drop it off along the way. The Devil's Backbone will also apply the hiker with $20,000 stipend, free backpacking gear, and transportation, and will even host parties in their honor along the trail. What a deal! Hey, the lucky winner should be experienced in wilderness. Will camp out under the stars and share the experience via social media. Now, if you've ever hiked the Appalachian Trail, and you've done it before, this would be a great opportunity to make $20,000. Now, at mile marker 842, we have hosted hikers through who we want the rest to recharge and dizzy. Anyways, so the Devil's Backbone is actually located just off the Appalachian Trail at mile marker 842. And since their opening, we have hosted through hikers who just want to rest and recharge on their 0 day. I guess that's a thing for hiking. I guess hiking terms and stuff. It's a great opportunity for a hiker who loves beer. Given the state of things today, we could all use some getting away and getting some reservation time in the great outdoors. The job opening to U.S. residents only, 21 years or older, and in states where Devil's Backbone sells its beer. So here are the states that qualify: D.C., Delaware, Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, Maryland, North Carolina. Woohoo! New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina. Blah, blah, blah. I don't see Florida in there. Sorry, guys. So this must be in the states that the Appalachian Trail runs through, which makes sense. Now, I don't know if you've hiked the trail before. A lot of people will hike the trail and they'll have a backpack full of all the canned goods and say, well, I'm doing good. And then like day 3, they're like, this backpack's fucking heavy. I'm just going to drop stuff here on the ground. I'm going to put it on the ground. I'm not carrying it anymore. And so you see like these collections of cans around trees, or I don't know if I've never been on the trail before other than like as a kid, you go to a little park. Here's part of the trail and you walk, 200 meters. What's a meter? What's a liter of soda? 200 meters. And then I was on the Appalachian Trail. But they leave stuff. I don't know if they've got like bins or opening or like little cubby container things that people, I'm not carrying these things anymore. I'm not carrying them. I'm dropping them off. But that's what they do. They drop off unneeded, unnecessary stuff to carry on their day. So you might find a can of raviolis or what's the shitty stuff you always give to the food donation? Pie crust, pumpkin pie filling or something. Now, something a lot of people out there are getting unsolicited are these weird packages from China. China, as Mr. Trump says. They're getting these weird packages. Oh.
You walk into an Amazon fulfillment center.
I know. So everyone's getting, with everyone ordering stuff from Amazon, so constantly I go outside and there's a package out there, a package all the time. My wife buys stuff. She just bought a couple bathing suits because we're going out to the Outer Banks here, North Carolina here in next couple months. And then she bought me like some shoes, some work shoes. We got some electric fence stuff but we always have packages out front of our franch here. Now, one of the packages, I'm worried I've been holding this back for my wife because I always tell her the news stories and stuff that I'm going to talk about, but I didn't want to tell her about this one because I didn't want her to freak out. I want her to hear it here on the podcast, and maybe you guys should. This is your first time hearing it too if you're not watching your Facebook feed. These mysterious packages coming from China.
Victoria Dagon and husband John were surprised by a small package postmarked from China in their mailbox near Houston.
I was immediately suspicious. It was not a question. It was not a doubt.
Inside, 4 small bags of seeds. She's a gardener, but never orders from China.
It is very frustrating because we can no longer trust what comes in our mail.
Hold on. So the reporter's got a mask on, and the lady giving the speech that she's interviewing doesn't have a mask on. Come on. What are we doing here?
Unsolicited packages, most believed from China, are landing in thousands of mailboxes across the country. State agriculture offices flooded with calls are urging people not to plant them.
Treat them like they're radioactive. Treat them like they're kryptonite. Do not throw them in the trash. We don't want them ending up in the landfill and sprouting or down the sewer.
Tonight, the USDA is testing the mystery seeds and believes they may be part of what's called a brushing scam, where a seller sends unsolicited packages and posts fake reviews to boost sales. Janet Shamlian, CBS News, Houston.
So I don't know what's going on with them, but I mean, they're sending these fake seeds, or they're real seeds. Don't plant them unless you want to. I don't know. I want to plant them. I want to see what happens with them. I want to see what happens when you plant these seeds. Keep them in a little garden. I've seen some things on Facebook. What happens when you plant the seed, and it's Andrea. What's the plant from Little Shop of Horrors? Audrey 2. And female not alone. Film and theater background, I told you. But I mean, there's a reason you don't plant stuff, because it could get out of control and just take over stuff. A prime example is the kudzu. You guys know what kudzu is? It was brought here in the mid 1800s as a way to shade a lot of houses and stuff. It was also used to keep erosion from happening on the banks and stuff. But what it was doing was it was so invasive that it was actually blocking in the water. It was blocking out the sunlight, so the plants down below were dying. The fish were dying. So it's this weird sight. But it came over from China. Came over from Japan. We brought it over from Japan in the 1800s. And so kudzu. Now it does have medical benefits, by the way. Kudzu, if you're out there, it does have a lot of medical benefits as far as it's kind of like the milk thistle and stuff. You can't take a whole lot of it, but it does help you if you can find it. The kudzu plant. Read up on it. It's very interesting what the actual kudzu plant does. You personally inside, but as far as our agriculture and our environment, no, kudzu's bad. So maybe these are little kudzu seeds or something like that that's going to choke out everything. All right, when we come back, we are going to. Something that is a long tradition. Actually, it's where my wife and I went on our very, very quote-unquote first date, is going away this year. So stick around. I'll get into that here in just one sec. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com. Click on the social network stuff, and we have a new kind of a special show, a special segment we call Is This Going Somewhere? And it's conversations I've had with IT Dan my IT guy here at the station. It's fun when I call him and talk to him. You know, he's an older gentleman. He's seen a lot. He's been around. He's a very smart gentleman. He's got a different way of thinking about things. You know, most of my thinking is duck on the water's back. You know, if it doesn't affect me immediately, you know, within my little world that I have here on the French, I'm not worried about it. But he, on the other hand, he's everything's spiraling, everything's going out of control, and he was not feeling well the other day, and he was saying it was he got a little heated. Now I don't know if it's corona or if it's heat exhaustion. You have to listen to the episode and decide for yourself. Now, entertainment, commercial ads. You know, there's a few commercial ads out there that kind of stick with you. You always know them. You always, that's dumb. I don't get it. Totally stupid. The Geico commercials are really, the guy who's in charge of that program, making all these commercials, I think he's kind of fizzling out a little bit. He's kind of, the caveman thing was funny and all the other ones were funny, but he's just kind of, I think he's doing it all from his house now. He's not punching them out. They're not the kick that they used to be. Now, whoever got a hold of these people, I don't know how much they paid for this commercial ad, but you know The Office, right? With Steve Carell and all the other people from The Office. One guy who's not going to go anywhere. What's his name? Krasinski? Not with a name like that, he's not going anywhere. But they've hired these three people. You know who Stanley is from The Office. He's the big fat bald guy who's an idiot. Meredith, who's the drunk whore. And Stanley, who's the token black guy on the show. And they've hired these three people to talk about this new, I don't know how much they paid them. Hopefully a lot. It's called Trainual instead of manual. They slam training and manual all together. And I just came across this video. I just like going, whoa, they must have shelled out some money for this.
Office policies and training manuals exist because of me.
So, you're thinking about training some new employees. And if you were a boss and you had to deal with employees like me?
That's funny because that's Kevin. And to see him or watch him talk normal, it's funny.
Well, you probably get tired of having to repeat yourself over and over. And you could do like everybody else and use a standard training manual, and people are going to still ask you the same questions over and over again.
Before Trainual, I made some bad calls on what's okay to do at office parties.
I never read the employee handbook. People are trained easier, faster, and they retain it better. So use Trainual.
Trainual makes everything easy to find and understand.
It's easy. It's simple. And I love simple. So use Trainual. You won't be sorry.
Your business probably needs it. Thanks to employees like me.
It's got a big bottle of Jameson. So there you go. They must have shelled out a lot of money for that Trainual. But yeah, I saw that video and I'm like going, oh my God, it's the guys from The Office. Hey, I know them. I know those guys. My wife and I've watched it for, this is probably a third time around. This is the first time my wife ever watched it. And she was like, oh, that's kind of funny. Now, my wife, I bring my wife into this conversation because when we first met, we had our first date. And it was okay. You know, she was nervous. I was like, I could take it or leave it. One of those things. Oh, by the way, we met on Match.com. So there's a success for you. So there is a success story for you. Let me put that out there. I got too much saliva in my throat. Hey-o. So, we met on Match.com, and, you know, she went through the same thing I did. You know, she went on, you know, bomb date after bomb date after bomb date, and just, you know, you just sit there and go, man, people are just crazy out there. And this is way back in, oh, God, what year was this? I don't know, 2006, 2007, we started dating. But, yeah, we met on Match.com. So, you know, we went out to dinner and stuff, and we just kind of waved it off. And then she goes, a week goes by or whatever, and I'm sitting there, and it's getting close to, it's in October. And I love to go to this place every October because I can let loose, I can have a good time. At the time, I was working for a couple other radio stations and doing my own thing, and I just could let loose and not have to worry about anything or deadlines or punching a clock or anything like that. And so my wife and I, or my wife, she calls me before she was my wife. She calls me. She's like, out of the blue, hey, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm getting ready to book my tickets for Halloween Horror Night. She's like, oh my God, I've never been. I'm like, what? You've never been to Halloween Horror Nights? You got to go. Let's go. I'll buy the tickets. And I said to her, I said, now listen. This is in my mind, this is a true test. I go, now I get a little out of control. I'll do shots and double fish Jaeger bombs before double fish Jaeger bombs were a thing. And she's like, oh my God, let's go. So I have pictures of this, all this stuff. So I bought 4 disposable cameras because cell phones didn't have really good cameras on them, and I would throw Halloween parties at my house every year, and I'd always have like 15 disposable cameras. You've seen them, wedding parties do that, and then turn the cameras in, and you got a bunch of dick pics on your own cameras. So I said, here's your 2, here's my 2. And we'll just take pictures of each other in different aspects and stuff. So we did that. We did the whole thing. It was a blast. We had a great time. She got to see me at my rarest moments or most vulnerable moments, and she had a great time. She kept right up with me, and so that was it. We've been together ever since. Now, I say that to tell you this: Halloween Horror Nights here in the Central Florida area is out of Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure. Depending on, they usually bounce it between the 2 parks. So you have the Universal Studios Park, and then you have the Islands of Adventure Park, kind of like Disney and Epcot. So depending on what's going on, they'll bounce it between the 2 parks, and they have scary houses and all that stuff. And it's got to be year after year. They, when you think they can't do it any better, they do it even better. And it's always a theme thing. One time it was It from the movie It, and everything had an It theme to it. So here's a breaking news announcement right now.
Telling people it's going to happen.
Right. Don't cancel your hotels. Purchase your tickets. Yeah.
But until a decision is made, that's what they have to do.
Right, exactly.
The whole team had to move forward as if it was going to happen until upper management made the call, and they made that call today. No HHN 30.
That's right.
Now, like I said, they did tweet it out, just a small little tweet, no official press release, but the bottom line is it's canceled. I don't know what else the press release would say.
Right.
What else is there to say, right? But you do have some information, like the message that was sent out to the team members?
Yes. So this was officially sent out to the team members. Apologize for my glasses. I now look like...
Oh, wow. You look so smart now.
Clark Kent.
You're so smart.
All right. So it goes something like this. Dear fellow team members, this year has played out in many ways that none of us have expected. We have to make some difficult decisions under these unprecedented circumstances. I wanted to let you know about another difficult decision we are announcing today. Universal Orlando Resort will not hold our Halloween Horror Nights event this year, and will be focusing exclusively on operating our theme parks for daytime guests using the enhanced health and safety procedures already in place. I know this news is disappointing, especially since this year we would be celebrating HHN's 30th anniversary. I'm disappointed too, but this is the right decision for our guests and for our team members.
So here's the thing. This was broadcasted on July 24th, and it's a couple who does like reviews and stuff. Anyway, so this is July 24th. They announced this, but up until July 24th, they didn't say hide or hand or anything about canceling Halloween Horror Nights or anything like that. Now, the 4th of July fireworks display was canceled way back in the middle of June, if not early May. You knew these things were going on, but I guess the Islands of Adventure, the Universal Studios, was rolling the dice, and unfortunately, they're canceled. They canceled one of their biggest money makers, the biggest attraction that they have there at Universal Studios, which is Halloween Horror Nights. Because, man, if you want to be scared shitless, go to a place that specializes in making things up. A movie theater, the theater of the mind type stuff, and they do it right, man. They spend a lot of money. They were even having auditions all the way up until this announcement, because for those of you in other states and other countries, they audition people to be the street characters, and can you walk like this? Can you talk like this? Can you be in this thing? And they divide the island up in like 5 different segments and stuff. And they say, okay, you're this guy and you're this guy, and you've got to be that way all the time. But yeah, they were holding auditions and everything all the way up until the last minute, and then they just dropped the hammer on it, and then that's it. It's been canceled. Now Halloween hasn't gone away all the time or the whole way. What's going to happen with all the little kids walking down the road? Are they going to do that? Kids are going to have masks on top of their mask. Is this now the year that all the candy is going to be on the doorstep and it says take one only? Or is it going to be, how are they going to handle this? I'm anxious to see what happens. And the closer we get to Halloween, watch the stories that come out on how we're going to disperse candy trick-or-treater and how they're going to deal with that. Because, here I am, 12 years old, 13 years old, even the 16-year-olds, the little punk-ass kids running around, too old for Halloween, sticking their coronavirus hands in the candy, scrunching it around to grab whatever, and then the next kid, the little girl dressed up like a fairy, Mommy, okay, we'll take a couple Tootsie Rolls and a couple Necco wafers, because they're coming back, and put them in the thing, and then you go on, and the kid's got coronavirus in her bag, and then guess what? Trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. Now in Orlando, don't worry, Orlando, there is something that's going to take its place. A new drive-through Halloween attraction is coming to Orlando, Florida, with major Halloween events being canceled left and right due to the coronavirus pandemic. A group of Orlando-based entertainment experts have come up with an easy way to satisfy your needs for scare while maintaining social distance. Well, how do you do that? The Haunted Road. The Haunted Road is a new, completely contactless Halloween experience coming to Orlando. The drive-thru event will be filled with terrifying mix of theatrical storytelling, horrifying creatures, unexpected scares, and twists that take you on an immoral tale. Check the camera there. The event was designed with physical distancing measure in mind. The contact-free check-in by your license plate immerses you in drive-in scenes according to the press release. Okay, so here's what the whole thing is based on. Guests will drive through a number of nightmarish scenes while being immersed in the ghastly rendition of the untold story of Rapunzel as she journeys into the world of disarray, faces blood-curdling creatures, and hundreds of shocking scares. I didn't know there was a demon scary type Rapunzel story. She was just trapped in a tower with her hair, right? Rapunzel let down your hair. Is it the same Rapunzel? I guess so. For the families looking for something to do with their kids and enjoy a family friend version, this event will also be held during the daytime. Pussies. You can see the fishing string of the ghost flying by. Look at that. The daytime event will feature an adaptation and immersive scenes and enjoy the storyline by trading screams. For Halloween, fun, scare, family can enjoy. All right. The additional details will reveal at a later time. Admission will be $15 per person. Bullshit. It's a car ride. It should be $15 per car. How about that one? Figure that one out. And make it, okay, how many people do you got? Oh, just 2? How come I hear knocking from the trunk? It's not part of the scheme here. Okay? Get out of the trunk there. Whatever your name is. All right, when we come back, we're going to do, let's see, what time is it? All right, yeah. When we come back, we'll do This Week in Pickles, and I'll tell you a little bit of funny stuff that happened to me the other day. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live. I'll be right back.
I'm so sorry.
The MIDI pack.
Goes MIDI pack.
Unbelievable. Insane MIDI pack.
You want a beautiful melody? I got you.
His legacy will last well beyond the final.
Is living on the fact that nothing, absolutely nothing lasts forever. I'm talking, of course, about The Undertaker.
Professional wrestlers regularly dropped by his talk show. And
Hello, everybody. I never heard of anything like it.
Welcome back to Deacon Live. Give us a call anytime at the station at 407-448-8800. Text us live at any time at the Queen City studio located just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. And sorry, the podcast is about maybe 12 hours late. We had a rogue storm that came through, shut all the power down. We had generators fired up to keep everything running here out the French, but we all survived. We're all doing well. Now, unfortunately, oh God, what a segue. Someone who didn't survive, not because of the storm or anything, but just passed away here recently, is this legend right here.
Hello, everybody. I never heard of anything like it. But I don't want to say anything because it's not my place.
I'm not a psychiatrist.
What
I
do you
don't
want
treat
from
them.
him?
What do you want
He's
from
just,
him?
he's
Ask
just
me
a
to talk
doctor.
about...
He's not a psychiatrist.
I read the notes. They say, ask Dr. Rosenfeld if there's a difference between
Well,
clinical
we're not
and
sure
emotional.
what the difference is. Now, can we go on with this, miss?
Uh-huh.
Well, don't pluck it. Just push it up.
I can't.
Don't pull the hair out. Just push it.
It's going to take a little spit. You've been wanting to do this for 13 years, haven't you?
This is as close as you're going to ever get, believe me when I tell you.
So Regis Philbin has passed away. Unfortunately, he's passed away at the age of 88 years old. TV legend, yes. Talk host legend, yes. But just an all-around likable guy. He was kind of the dry humor, the dry face, the Regis and Kathy show. And now it's morphed in how many different hosts and stuff. Now it's the Kelly and Ryan Seacrest show. Not that we don't like Ryan Seacrest, but Kelly Ripa, I don't know. She's just, when I hear Ripa, I always think like she's bad. I saw a picture of her and like all her ribs are sticking out and everything. But yeah, I mean, but what's going to happen now? I mean, all our classic TV hosts are going away. They're passing away. They're not making it out alive out of this year. 2020 has claimed a lot of people. But what I'm saying is, we've grown up on 3 stations, NBC, ABC, and CBS, and then Fox came in the late 80s or early to late 80s. But then Cablevision opens up and all these other people. But we knew that's what we watched. That's what we knew, that person from this and this person from that. Today, in 10 years' time, we're not going to recognize anyone who's going to do any hosting on any show because everyone's watching everything streaming. Everything's watching everything Hulu, everything Netflix, everything this and all that stuff. And they're pigeonholing groups of people to watch these types of show. Oh, you don't like the horror and this? Well, you'll love the love and this. And you don't like the love and this, and you like the fantasy this. And only certain people watch those type of shows at all times. It's so funny. I'll be watching a movie with my wife, and my wife will go, "Oh, she's from my whatever house, Desperate Housewife. That's her son's daughter's kids, nephews, aunt's cousin's dog groomer." I'm like going, I don't know who the fuck that is, but who's going to host the New Year's Eve thing? Of course, Ryan Seacrest, the main guys, the staples out there. But television is going to completely change. Talk TV is going to be going away, gone, because there's no one's going to recognize anyone. The Real Talk or whatever it's called. I only know the one girl in the middle, and then the one girl on the far right hand side because she was on Nickelodeon with her twin sister. Those I don't know who I know who they are, but I couldn't tell you what they've been in. I couldn't tell you what they were doing before they got on this show. I know the big girl in the middle, the quote-unquote anchor of the show. I know, big anchor. Anyways, she was a stand-up comedian for a while. Not a very good one, but, she's got a rapport where she can give and take at the same time. But everyone else, all these other shows, I don't know who they are. I don't know. Television itself, terrestrial television, the antenna television, your main staple networks and stuff. It's going to change, and I think this whole pandemic thing is going to be a big, not boost. What's the reverse of boost? Insure? No, I don't know. Boost strength. I don't know. Being silly here. It's getting towards the end of the show. All right, so speaking of boost and drinks and energy, this week in pickles. Now, I made a batch of pickles for my wife. She likes oh God, I will literally, I made a batch of bread and butter pickles for my wife. Now, here at the Franch, one of the crops that we have is cucumbers. You plant one seed and you got 50,000 cucumbers. So what do you do with cucumbers? Well, you make cucumber water. I do that, and I put turmeric in it and some mint. It's really, really good. I don't drink sweet tea. I try to stay away from drinks that have sugar in them. Beer doesn't have sugar in it. It's got alcohol that turns it to sugar. It's a long story there. But I like to drink a cucumber water with turmeric in it, and that's my daily drink. That's what I drink when I'm not drinking. That sounds so horrible, when I'm not drinking beer. So I was looking up recipes to how to make pickles. I love pickles. I love the kosher dill. Whether it's kosher dill or regular dill, doesn't matter. I can deal with the deli, the Clausens. They're just too garlicky for me. But I made my wife some bread and butter pickles. That's what she likes. Ugh, disgusting. So I took a cucumber and, sliced them up real thin, put them in the water, like 3 cups of friggin' sugar. I forget what else that goes in it, and it has to boil, and then you drain it and rinse it, and it's a whole ordeal. My pickles, very simple. My wife doesn't want me to do this. I get the big Mount Olive, born and raised here in the Carolinas. I get the big jar of Mount Olives. It's, what is it, a gallon? Maybe a gallon and a half of pickles, and I love them. And the yellower the pickle, the softer the skin is. So I'm always looking at I spin the pickle jar around. I'm spinning, looking for the yellow ones. This is a good one here. Let's get this one. But you always have that juice left over, and my wife would yell at me, "Don't drink that." Well, it's good for you. It's got a lot of nutrients and stuff in it. So I said, "Babe, I'm going to make pickles. I'm going to take the cucumbers that we have. They're not pickling cucumbers. They're larger, about the size of your hand, from the palm of your hand to the tip of your finger. They're good size, so you cut them up in strips. And I want to put them in that brine." And she's like, "No, don't put them in there." I'm like, "Okay." So I make my own brine and do the pickles and stuff. So that's my take on the pickles. And I've got a jar out there down in the outside fridge, ready to go. I go out there. It's got dill and a little bit of garlic in there and white vinegar and a little bit of water and a little bit of turmeric in it. It's really good. Now, I say this week in pickles because I always see everyone's trying to put pickles into something or make something that pickles aren't supposed to be. And this week, if you're watching this on the video here, is This Week in Pickles. Let me find it. Hold on. This Week in Pickles. And you can see this this picture as well if you go to the DeaconLive section of the website. Cotton candy covered pickles. They are so good. This is from thecrazypopper.com, popper.com. It looks like a lollipop. Excuse me. And it like if you were to buy like an ice cream, it's got a stick with the pickles on, and then it's covered in cotton candy. It's got a little wrapper on it and stuff. And there's a pickle inside, a dill pickle inside, wrapped in cotton candy. I don't know if I just told you I don't like bread and butter pickles because they're too sweet, but I love the kosher dill. I don't know if that's going to offset. It's going to be, and you can see there's a big, he took a big bite out of it and says, "Oh, yummy, yummy." And there's a lot of yuck, yuck, yuck. But I don't know. Would that be good? Cotton candy wrapped up on the outside of a pickle? Cotton candy itself, how do you eat? You don't eat cotton candy. You just put it on your face and you absorb it. You don't eat cotton candy. You just absorb it. So there you go. I'd like to hear your opinions on that. And the way you get your opinions to me, there's several ways. You can email me at deacon@profitradio.com. You can call us anytime here at the station at 407-448-8800, or go to profitradio.com, click on the Be Heard section. It's a little blue bar, pops up, has a microphone. You talk right into it, and then your little message comes right here to the station. We'll play it on the next podcast. All right. I'll let you guys get back to what you got to do. I'd like to thank all you guys for listening to us, downloading us, and just being a part of us in general. Be safe out there. I know that there's a lot of confusion as far as wearing a mask, not wearing a mask. Just be smart. That's all I have to say. Just be smart about everything, and we'll all get through this together. I'd like to thank you guys for hanging out with us. I'll let you get back to what you got to do. My name is the Deacon, saying goodnight and good night.
Wait! Come back!
This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.
Pickles!